You guys see this button right here? It says manual lockout. Well, apparently I forgot what it was today, and I decided to turn a pretty good sized win into another loss, and the losing streak continues today. Down 5,000 on the week. Doesn't feel too good. It would have been nice to end today up $750 like I was in the morning, and I fumbled it hard, very hard, and took a shit ton of trades. Realistically, only took 4, sized in a bunch. I mean, I took actually probably like 8, 9. I took a bunch of little ones. I'll show you guys. At the end of the day, I ended up getting into a predicament where I was up $143, and all I needed to make was $7 fucking dollars to get my 150 winning day, and I managed to lose $450 in that process because I got fucked by news as soon as that happened. Like, look at all these trades. Like, all these, I'm not even gonna go over them in this video, but were just tiny little trades that I was trying to make $7 fucking dollars on, and I ended up losing 450. And that just sums up how this week's gone. Like I said, I'm not gonna go over those. Shouldn't even have had to take them. I should have just locked myself out, called it a fucking day, but I fucked up. Okay, and I'll admit that. My mental has not been good lately, and if you guys are new traders watching this, I need you guys to understand. How do I put this into words? But you'll get to a point where there's bad weeks and you just feel like you're not doing anything right, even though it's just the market's kind of being unfair, and then it forces you into your old bad habits like you've never traded before. And that's what's happening to me right now. I'm doing shit that I shouldn't be doing, that I know I shouldn't be doing, that I wasn't doing in the past, because my strategy or whatever the case is not playing out how I want it to. And I gotta stop doing that. So I need to wake the fuck back up. I'm gonna take this weekend off, chill the fuck out, and come back stronger next week. But yeah, I definitely went on tilt today. And if these market conditions are causing you to go on tilt, I really recommend you reevaluate what you're doing, like I'm going to. Because the worst part about going on tilt, which I've learned many times, is you'll end up in this exact predicament where you got 5 accounts. I blow 4 of them or all 5 of them, and then next week we got great price action. But I don't have any accounts. I have no capital left. So if I can say one thing for you guys to learn from my mistakes, is if it's a bad week, that's fine. De-risk, take a few losses. At least you're not taking losses like this, where you're losing 5,000 in a week. You're taking small losses, you got capital. Next week, you're fine. You can make that back in one trade. But if you guys do what I did, let your emotions get involved, and then you end up like this. And then next week, you're even more pissed because you're back on combines. So yeah, there was a little bit of good news today. I did get 150K combine, and I did pass half of it. It was just one trade I just added. I had to trade 2 micros because I fucked it up, and I only got 450. So I had to add 2 micros into a trade to get the rest of the money. But that was no problem. We got half our balance secured. Did not realize how much you need to make to pass these fucking accounts. $9,000, which is insane. Obviously I'm trading heavy. I was trading 5 minis, so it wasn't too much of a burden, but still a lot of fucking money. So this account was like $300 Canadian, so I'm not trying to blow this shit up. If you guys haven't seen Top Step's new rules, they're complete bullshit. It basically forces you to get 150K, and then they have this daily loss limit account where you can pay $30 less. It basically makes your loss limit $3,000, which I really hope you're not losing $3,000 in a day when your drawdown's only $4,500. But yeah, so that's at least a positive. But I still got one trade to hit on this, so Don't want to get too ahead of myself, but it was a very expensive account, so I'm going to make fucking sure I pass it because I don't want to buy another one. Well, let's get into this today. We did have all this news. I mean, this was pretty much red folder. It's always been red folder. Like I said, I don't know why they changed it to orange. But my first trade of the day in my opinion, but it was a pre-market trade. You can see we had this Asia session here, which is also all-time highs. London session here, and then we had a few other lows here and there. I believe this was also a New York AM low here that I forgot to mark out, which I don't have on there, so I'm not going to do it right now. But yeah, on the higher time frames, we were tapping into a 4-hour gap, so everything very, very bullish in my eyes. We are also tapping into this hourly. We barely touched it, but we did tap into it. So coming into market open, you can see we had this 15-minute here. After we sweep London low here, and we're delivering out of this 4-hour gap, we get a little bit of chop, but then we push right through this very nicely. And after that inversion, we make a 15-minute bullish gap that we tap back into. So right here for me, I'm instantly looking for trades. We got two pretty low resistance highs right there, and the market's going to want to go for all-time highs. So we get that pullback, and then we get a 1-minute IFEG here, very big one, good displacement through it, and we do end up creating a 2-minute gap and a 3-minute gap right here that we do tap back into. So I entered my position right on that pullback, and this was a beautiful trade. I got in right here, like literally bottom tick this bitch up to Asia highs, and this was a very nice sized win, and my stops were below this 5-minute gap here. So this was a 1-4, very good trade, insanely good trade. I could have caught a lot fucking more, and this is the one I passed my combine on. Like I said, it was pre-market, but I wasn't risking a lot. You can see I made $750. It was a 1-4, so do the math. I was not risking a lot, so I wasn't worried even if it did hit my stop loss. But I literally bottom ticked this bitch, and we ran right into profit. Market opens right here, and we just diddy all the way up to my TP. It was fucking awesome. And this one only lasted about 15 minutes. Got taken out right there. Passed half my eval on that, and that was a $750 win. Trade of the day, in my opinion. Obviously, some people wouldn't have taken it because it's pre-market. I know a lot of people don't trade pre-market. Neither do I. But when a setup like that presents itself, I'm taking it 10 out of 10 times. That was beautiful. And we clearly had our manipulation before market open. We had this big move down. So I wasn't worried about getting a move down and then back up. I knew right away we were going all the way up. That was a super easy trade. Did not think we were going to go this high, but yeah. So at this point, I'm up $750. Should have locked out my account. Should have called it a fucking day. Would have been a good day. But I did end up deciding to take another long because we had very strong buy pressure. And we tapped back into this 15-minute here. And I ended up taking another long position as a continuation trade. Right here when we got this 1-minute IFEG. You can see we barely got it, but we got it back to the upside after we tapped down in that 50-minute gap. Do I think this was a bad trade? No, not at all. In my situation where I was already up a decent amount, not necessary at all. But if you guys missed that first leg and you took this as your first trade, I don't think it was a bad one. We clearly did actually get the move up. Unfortunately, I did get stopped out right about on this candle here, right there. Almost got stopped out here, and I didn't. And I kind of knew I was cooked at this point because we had already inversed this gap back down. And I got stopped out right after by like a measly, I don't know, 20 points. And we ran right to TP, which is these stacked all-time highs right here, which would have put me up about $1,500 on the day, which would have been even better than $750, but was not necessary. And obviously, we still had quite a lot to inverse, so this was somewhat of a risky trade. Like I said, I thought it was a good one, but my plan was to go break even right about there. But since we only wicked it, I didn't end up going break even, and then I got stopped out right away. So yeah, that was a $350 loss, not a crazy one. But here is where I started to kind of go off the rocker because I was pissed and I got emotional. So I ended up taking a short after there was a 2-minute gap. I can't really show you guys. I really need to buy TradingView Premium. But there's a 2-minute gap like right about here, right? Like give or take. I don't know. It was somewhere around here. This one didn't inverse it, but this did. And this was kind of like, it might have been like up here. I don't know. This didn't get inversed by these candles. It came damn close. And then we were just constantly like tapping into it, right? I guess I can just show you guys on my top step. This was right here. You can see we had this 2-minute gap. Very small, but we had it. And that was kind of like my lifeline, right? That was the last gap that needed to be inversed to then kind of signify that we were going to make a move back down, right? So that gets inversed like I showed you guys. And at this point, I'm like, well, we're going to dump. We inverse the gap. And right as soon as I get out of that other trade, I take this one, which is complete FOMO. I wasn't taking it far. I was just taking it down to these relative equal lows here. And pretty tight stop, which was not actually a tight stop because I risked very heavy on this because it was a pretty low RR trade. And this got stopped out like all the way up here. And it was negative R by like $50. Would have made about 800, but I ended up losing 850 on this trade. And like I said, pattern trade, FOMO entry, bullshit. Shouldn't have done it. Yes, we did have this fair value gap to fill, but I went against my bias. And again, it's my third trade. I was super emotional. I got in a minute after I got stopped out. Never should have happened. Garbage. Old habits that I shouldn't be doing. So at this point, I'm down about $250, I believe. Or sorry, $450. Maybe a little bit more. I think maybe it was a little bit more actually. Might have been about like I think it was about $500 I'm down. And I did take one more long. I switched up my bias again. And I took this one because we are all the way up here now. I took this one up here. Right there. And this was just based off the fact that we had a very strong displacement off this 5-minute gap. I should have gone in right here, but I got in late because I was in a short. And again, this was not a very good trade, more of a pattern trade, but we did end up getting inversions and looking really good. And my TP was up about here. I was trying to get as much of this as I could because it did look good. And we had a very strong amount of buy pressure. That being said, I got really fucked over on this trade. I actually think my Sorry, my entry was at 820. I thought that said 828. So my entry was right here. And this trade, not a great one, but I did get kind of lucky, to be honest. I won a good amount in profit. My stops were below this 5-minute gap. And like I said, I was reaching up about there. But I trailed in profit. And I'm sure you guys can see what happened. I trailed in profit and I got taken out right here. Obviously, you guys can see what happened. Trump happened as usual. I'll be increasing tariffs charged to the EU by 25%. And we fell off the cliff. So we dumped 80 points off that candle. And that stopped me out in profit right there. For a $650 win. I was up about 1,200, give or take, I want to say, 1,100. And yeah, that fucked me over hard because now I was up $142 and I was stupid again. Didn't call it a day. Didn't say, oh, I'm in the green. Is what it is. Call it a day. I kept trading one micro trying to get that $8 and I got fucked around. You can see we just chopped around. And there was a bunch more news after that. We had these 4 red ones here about Iran. And these were all coming out like right after each other. You can see like all these had an impact. And he just kept going, man. He just kept going. And I just kept getting bent over. And I ended up down $450. I'm not going to go over those because there's literally no meaning to them. I was just trying to make $7 fucking dollars. And yeah, ended up fucking it up, but you got to kind of appreciate the bad times for what they are. You got to learn from them. I can't get too bummed out about this, you know. It is what it is, and I do say if you guys are new to trading, appreciate the hard times, man, because the hard times make the good times. You're not going to just first try, get a payout, and it's going to be awesome for you. The payout feels good because you got fucked in the ass for 10 months, 12 months, 14 months, 2 fucking years, who knows how long, and then you finally get that payout, and it's like, this is awesome, right? If you don't go through the struggle, if you don't learn the lessons that come from the losses, you'll never get what you want out of this, right? So for me right now, I'm getting used to sizing up, and it's taking an emotional toll on me a little bit, but I'm learning from it, and it changes your game a decent amount when you size up. I thought it would kind of be the same, but obviously emotions come more into play when you're losing $1,000, $2,000 on the day. Like, obviously emotions are going to come more into play when you're losing that much compared to losing 200, right? So it all comes with the game. You got to learn how to deal with it. I mean, fuck, I've taken 12 payouts on the year. I ain't complaining. I'm not losing that much money. It's just prop firms, right? So, yeah. Take that from this, guys. The lessons suck, but as long as you're able to identify what you're doing wrong, fix it, come back stronger from it, it does become a good thing. So if any of you guys have been having a hard past couple of weeks, I know the market's been really tough, all-time highs, and Trump just going nuts. Just remember, guys, things will turn around, and all these hard times are just you're gonna be grateful for them when it does turn around, because it just makes the wins feel so much better. So I'm gonna leave that here, and we'll check out next week before I go. No news Monday. I'm sure Trump will be going crazy again. And we got non-farm employment change on Friday. So Thursday should be pretty shit as well. Tuesday looks like a good day. Wednesday looks like a good day. Monday should be good. Thursday, Friday, who knows? There's a lot of shit going on Friday. So be careful. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up here. hope you guys enjoy your weekend. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe as usual. And I will catch you guys next week. Peace.